probably in the same way that a surgeon inwardly grimaces when he smells the inside of a body cavity. I have to say that I thought something was burning in the shop when I was taking this lower end apart, and it just smelled burnt. You can see that, let me get a rag, that we have some copper showing on that one, and there's several of them that have copper showing, and so this thing had to have low oil pressure. But the good thing is these are sacrificial surfaces. They're not meant to, I mean, once they go, then you're in trouble, but until they go, you're so totally good. And so that's a Ford part number there. So that is the standard bearing. Got the crank out, and I'm going to clean it up and then just get it ready to go back in. So I've created this little area over here so I could work without kind of at least have a clean area where I could set stuff down and not worry about it. Including the $40 I paid for the engine at the swap meet, I'm probably in it for about $400. And so that's, I guess I could have bought one. I bought one recently for $500, but you just don't know what you're getting. And so I guess in this case, hopefully I know what I'm getting, and hopefully I do a good enough job that it doesn't come apart on me right away, and it lasts for a long time. So, all right, so yeah, and the Mustang still awaits. I spent a little time honing these cylinders out, and I've still got a little more work to do. I started off using a stone type hone, but I wasn't happy with the results. I did a little reading, and the stone type hone has a tendency to cut deeper grooves than what they call, it's a stupid name, but they call it a dingle ball hone. And so this is the stone type. I'll just hold it up for you. You can see it. And so it's spring loaded, and the stones are, they scrape against the inside of the cylinder. And then this is what they call I don't know, it's a brush hone. It's kind of what it is, but people call it a dingle ball hone for obvious reasons. But I think I like the dingle ball better. I mean, it takes off less material, but it still gets you the crosshatch pattern. But it's not as aggressive, and so using a combination of the two I think is probably the right thing to do. I've spent a little time cleaning the engine. I didn't share that, but it was just really trying to get the external part of the engine cleaned up, but it still needs to be put in the bathtub. I used a steam cleaner, and while I had the steam cleaner going, I went ahead and ran it through a bunch of the orifices for the oil passages, and so I was blowing steam out of these oil galleries. But I do need to put compressed air in there. I need to put some water in there. I need to get some soap and water on this thing. So that's kind of my next step. So I'm going to get it on the hoist, get it off of here, take it, probably, I'm thinking about doing it in the back of the truck, just putting the bathtub in the back of the truck, and then putting this in there, and then putting some soap and water in there, and then doing some scrubbing and kind of getting it all soaked, and then drying it off with compressed air and bringing it back in here as a prep for starting to assemble everything. So that's where we're at. Don't ask me why I'm doing that. I have no clue. All right. Oh, that's easier. That's feeling better. Alright, so I guess the next step will be just to torque these down. I've got this thing on the stand. I've taken it off the table. I've gone ahead and chased the holes for the heads. I've kind of got it ready to start reassembling. Okay, I learned my lesson about metal inside near that crank. It seems like it's very soft, and so I took some tubing and just cut it. As I lower these in there, I'm gonna hopefully avoid the crank, and this will provide enough spacing that I won't have to worry about it. So I've gone ahead and cleaned the first couple of these pistons in the ultrasonic cleaner at a higher temperature, and then wiped off most of the oil and everything else. And then I've got it inside this piston ring compressor, and I've verified the orientation of what I need, and so I'm just going to go ahead and try to put that one in. And notch to the front. And then I should be able just to drive that piston down. Progress. Whoa. The notches here, like this. I'll just run these up, and then we'll torque them later. I have a feeling it's going to get harder and harder to turn as I go, so I might need to put the front crank gear on there. Let's just check it. Oh, actually, that's not bad. Oh yeah, I like that. All right then, let's tighten that up a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Last bearing. The only problem is that I lost one of the nuts. And what happened was I had put them all back on the rods, and then as I was moving around, they were rattling, and then they came loose. Now it's getting a lot harder to turn over. Some of the cylinders were a little bit dry, so I put some oil in them just to try to loosen it up a little bit, but I'm not sure how. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. I soaked all the pistons in oil, and then I put them in the ring compressor and drove them in. So I'm missing a nut. I've got to order it. Just went ahead and stuck this thing on the front. Damn it. Alright, so yeah, it's hard to turn over. I guess I'll have to get a nut in the end of it. It still sounds pretty dry. All right, we're going to call that a win for now. A lot of mysteries still to be solved, but I can start putting together the bottom end of the engine. All right, well, it's I guess before this is over, we're going to find out if you can build an engine in a dirty shop, because I definitely don't feel like I've got the cleanliness levels that I need, but I want to get this done. So I appreciate you watching, and I don't know, let me know if you've ever done this and what kind of things you ran into. It would be interesting to hear. I've never really built one this far down. I've done a lot of kind of what I would call band-aid work, but I've never taken it completely down and taken the crank out and done all that. So I'm doing this without plastic gauge, without bore gauges. I'm not checking the end crank play. I'm just, I guess, just going on faith and hoping that it's a good engine and that it runs. So that's where we're at. Clearly we still have a lot of work to do, but this is one milestone in the process, and I'm hoping that we can have it running for you sooner rather than later. Thank you for watching.